Dr. Ruby Payne, session 3 of How to Work with Parents. And this one has to do with social media. I get numerous comments from people about how much social media is actually impacting their relationships with parents, because you have a whole set of parents who are airing their grievances on social media. And many times the board policies about how you deal with this are vague and incomplete and insufficient. And so what we had in Texas a assistant principal who lost her job because of the way she responded on social media. So what are some guidelines here that you want to think about when you're going through social media and working with parents? I have put together now a automated PowerPoint to go through some of these ideas with you.
One of the things I recommend to schools is that they have a signed parental agreement about the use of social media. And it would go like this. I, blank, whatever the parent's name is, agree to the following in order to protect my own child. Number 1, if I have an issue with something at school, I will not immediately post to social media. I will first contact the teacher or administrator to get the facts correct. Number 2, I will not post negative comments about other parents, other people's children, or school personnel without first having a conversation with the administrator. Number 3, I do understand that a great deal of information on social media is incorrect or incomplete. I do understand that deep fakes are a reality and that my own identity or my child's identity can be distorted as well. Number 4, I do understand that human trafficking uses social media to find victims. I understand that I will not post detailed information about my own child or any other child online. And then you ask for a signature and a date.
Now, here are some more strategies for you about do's and don'ts. First of all, one of the things that is very important as you're dealing with this, and you can go back over and watch this video again, is to remember you do not want to respond in anger and you don't want to react. You can't talk about another kid. You cannot defend yourself online. I've had a lot of critics, and I've had quite a bit of social media bullying. And the thing to remember is some things you can't respond to, okay? Because it just devolves into a big fight that's totally misunderstood. So the issue is this: how does your school set up a safety net for social media, and how do you respond? One of the things that's happening now is that parents are getting together and going after a teacher or a administrator on social media against that particular individual with insinuation and assassination. One of the things that should happen is that should be nipped in the bud immediately by an administrator who makes a call and says, I understand, I'd like to speak with you. I understand that you have unhappiness about this. One of the things that allows that individual is to begin to address their issues there. Only about 10 to 15% of your parents are actually going to be negative on social media that way most of the time. And so one of the schools, as it was said in the video or in the PowerPoints, they identified those 10 to 15% of parents who are going to be most difficult. And they went and they did home visits with them in the summer and built a relationship. That will be key. And they gave them a cell phone number of somebody they could contact fairly quickly. That is key in minimizing the kind of negativity that can occur on social media. And like corporations do, you engage individuals, room mothers, etc., particularly at elementary, to post positive things about the school online. Becomes more difficult and problematic in secondary, because many secondary targets are not just staff, but they're also other students. So one of the key issues I recommend at secondary, if possible, and if you have strong enough leadership, that you get an agreement, that you begin to build an agreement among the leadership of the students in the high school to minimize those kinds of interactions. And if it's not replicated at the leadership level, a lot of times, not always, it's not replicated other places in the social media setting of kids. But it becomes this way of openly acknowledging it, the impact it has on students. So these are strategies you can use. There's a lot more, and more of those strategies again in this book, but they become ways that you can have a better relationship with parents. I've had people say to me, I just don't want them in my space. They're going to be in your space. So the question is, what strategies can you use to minimize the amount of disruption that comes from that part of your job? How do you do that? And here's some strategies that work. Thank you so much.